really looking at coming into this second game, and I hope the coaching staff has thought about that, is execution. They were just too fast. Way too fast. They were just forcing things that had no reason to be forced. But we're into the second game here, second draft, and teams will be remaining on the exact same sides. Blue side for Singapore, red side for Philippines.
Yeah, I think the discussion you're just having there about forcing a little bit too much is very much the case for kind of the majority of the Southeast Asian games. If there was one piece of advice I suppose I would like to give to the teams from Southeast Asia is they don't need to play as fast as they are. They can slow things down and they don't need to be as aggressive as what we've seen. We've seen some really awkward fights being taken across the board, and today's game has been no different. Obviously a lot of those have been favourable for Team Singapore, and so hopefully Team Philippines can turn things back around now. Just to kick off things with the initial bans, Nico, Kha'Zix, Maokai, Yuumi, Zeri, nothing really out of the ordinary, and very much in the same vein as what we saw in Game 1. It's the exact same veto order, it's the exact same ban order, it's the exact same people banning the exact same champions, so nothing really to be said there that hasn't already been said.
Nothing has changed just yet. Vi was the last remaining ban here, I believe, from the Philippines squad, and that is going to be taken also. Now, the big thing for me here is Aphelios still perfectly fine first pick. Viego's going to be priority once again for Shera with the way that he's played it, but this is the champion that I was highlighting for that entire first draft, Jordan. I was saying, where is this Ahri? I feel like now's a great time to pick the Ahri. It's like one of the biggest reasons Singapore was finding their success. They will lock that in, and the immediate response from Philippines was what we were also saying in that first draft, asking if it would be there with all of the AD carries and the Zeri Yuumi in particular taken away.
Whoa.
And we're getting hectic.
Yeah, so Samira gets pulled out here for Team Singapore, and so we're certainly going to be expecting some kind of engaged support through for the bot lane. Obviously, a Blitzcrank would be, I think, the natural pairing. I mean, even Leona is something that you'd like to put alongside the Samira. But, I mean, I'm just a big fan of Nautilus. I think he's able to do so much from such a distance that it can be a little difficult to play things like the Lucy and Nami into it. If the Nautilus is hitting hooks, you're going to get some pretty good exchanges one way or the other.
I mean, this is a game that's already built around bottom lane. The fact they've gone Lucy Nami and you've responded with a Samira is a clear sign that you're fighting 2v2. Nothing else matters in this game right now other than if you can get leads in your lane and in your 2v2. Junglers, I mean, if that's a poppy jungle, that's fine, but I'm expecting these junglers to be playing towards the bottom lane in their entirety. Tanks make a lot of sense there. Vi, Wukong, like Vi's gone, so Wukong now a potential option for them. And the fact that Nautilus is there for Singapore does also mean things like the Viego are much more viable, so that is going to be banned. They have the setup already there for them.
I'll be expecting an Azir ban to come through here from Team Singapore, just to ensure that you don't sort of pair the Poppy and the Azir. Although we haven't seen the mid laners so far from Team Philippines leaning toward the Azir, so again, don't have too much information as to what the map pool, what the champion pool sort of looks like there for those players, particularly given that they have role swapped as well from day 1 to day 2. But there is the Azir ban, so it's more of a general thing rather than a targeted ban, so to speak.
They're looking to pick the Ahri ban away. The Azir jungle bans have been seen in both the Vi and the Viego this time around. However, it is going to be the Malphite, which usually indicates something like a Jace. That certainly is possible. Makes you wonder what they're going towards. And if that's just Philippines saying, I will protect my Lucian at all costs, and I cannot stop the Malphite's dash as a Poppy, and so I have to switch up the game. The Talia gone as well, so a bit of roam, a bit of utility missing. If you're Philippines, this is one of those comps that personally I'd be slamming a Lissandra or an Annie here with no hesitation. But we've also seen Singapore into that Annie matchup. Arakelik went absolutely crazy.
Maybe Team Singapore trying to bait them in that direction. Gragas is going to be the choice instead. So a good all-round champion again. And a little bit of flexibility. Blaze is going to go straight into the Fiora. So it turns things around, right? It'll be Blair playing that Fiora. He has kind of not angled towards that kind of a champion so far in the Road to Asian games. Generally speaking, he's been on the side of the Gragas or the Ornn or the Xante or what have you.
I feel like this has to be a Wukong, right? To really round out your composition in a way that I feel like makes a lot of sense. You've got 4 skirmish heavy champions and a Fiora that's going to split push. Sejuani is going to... Okay, so they are just saying anything you can do, I can do better. Particularly with... Okay, okay. I like Philippines comp here suddenly. I think Lucian Nami's pretty aggressive and is going to be a lot of their success revolves around that, but the Gragas Yasuo, I kind of wish that it was a Gragas jungle and the Poppy was top lane though into the Fiora matchup.
Well, you might see a late change, you never know. But it definitely does look like it's going to be Gragas up in the top lane and Estelators in the jungle there on Poppy. So we've got something a little bit fun again from Team Philippines. You can really see where they're angling with this team comp. You've got knockups from Gragas, from Poppy, from Nami, and of course from Yasuo. So really looking to enable Yasuo in the mid lane to go hard. And they like to brawl it down in the bot lane with the Lucian Nami comp as well. It is an interesting choice, to be fair. But I do wonder, how are they going to deal with the split push of Fiora? If the Fiora gets ahead, or if Flair is, given room to work, who can actually answer that?
I mean, yeah, your best option is going to be a Yasuo, right? You're going to have to try and put the Yasuo pitted against it, or it's going to be 2 members as a minimum. A couple of cool opportunities are here for Philippines. If they can get Gawala free around the map, play towards bottom bubbles and ultimate combo. Top lane's a Gragas. They throw that cask out, and suddenly, if their riposte isn't going to be there, then you have the Yasuo coming in as well for those plays. A lot of crowd control in a more disengaged sense here from Philippines above all else, right? The Gragas, the Poppy, the Nami are more diffusal champions until they choose to, say, go with a Yasuo. And so I think that they're going to have to be a little bit more particular in the fight that they choose to take. For the Singapore squad, Nautilus Samira is aggressive. Ari wants to roam just as much and wants to get around and influence the map. Favorable matchup in mid lane for Philippines, to be sure. Not much that an Ari can realistically do in that 1v1, but tries to just clear the wave and roam. It's the Sejuani and the Fiora once again, but for the other team.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about a level 1 invade here from Team Singapore? It doesn't look like they're going to opt for that, but with a Sejuani and a Nautilus on your side, might not have been a bad shout either way. Looks like they'll just play it a little bit more passively. They are going to have a little bit of a look in with that Nautilus, and Moran would be illegal to get caught right here. Though I would say we have seen some stranger things so far in the Road to Asian Games.
Certainly have a good little level 1 ward though.
They don't know that they're on the ward.
That's true. No one really moving with intent towards it. However, Estelatus is moving towards probably his Raptors, a Q stack. Poppy very good at Raptor camp. And everything should just start off with a very slow game. First strike proc, bit of money for the pockets. That's the win that they'll take.
Love to see it.
Arkelic also starting with that corrupting potion in most of the lanes that I've seen from this Ari.
Yep, definitely.
Isn't opting towards the Doran's ring or any kind of other survivability, is just the shield and sustain.
Oh my word, what is going on down in the bot lane already? An ignite and a flash forced out. Not also the heal from Moran too. So no summoners on that Nami, and that's not a good place to be. Half HP, no summoners when you're this early in the lane against a Nautilus.
The E-start Yasuo as well. Tries to get 2 stacks up through minions and then go in, but look for the hook bottom.
Oh, they're not even going to go for Moran. They're just going to try to bait out that cleanse. They've done a really good job so far here, Team Singapore. Great trades early, and that is severely going to mitigate the effectiveness of this Lucian Nami combo. You're not hitting 2 first. You can't play the game in bot up against a Samira Nautilus like this.
And Arkelic looking like he's going to get 2 in pretty short order here, not really being threatened too much. I was going to mention this before as well, but bot's just fighting constantly. The E-start Yasuo is a really good way to play cheese if you can out-trade your opponent 1v1 by using the Way of the Wind shield. But the Ari starting W has one of the highest base damage abilities in League of Legends. So to take that trade on was essentially a losing situation, because now you're a melee character that has to walk away or dash away, and 2 extra auto attacks help that mid lane 1v1.
Man, this is worst case scenario as a bot laner, isn't it?
This isn't laning.
You are getting denied the XP, you're still level 1.
The W start Lucian farming with W.
Not a fun place to be, and Shera feels confident as well because of that priority in the bot lane to have a bit of a look here
for the Poppy.
Shera doesn't have it either. Oh, does get there in time though. In the end, Shera still putting that pressure on. This is really good from Team Singapore so far.
Yeah, great pressure, good information, good knowledge has been gathered. More than anything else, And it means that this 5 to 20 CS difference top, I can't believe that wasn't on the turret.
What is going on in this top lane? That's a great question.
I cannot believe that wasn't on the turret.
Oh, Escalators needs to be careful. Does flash out to safety, but the hook still connects, and that is a very well secured dive from Team Singapore.
They are looking to go again. Oh.
I was going to say, knowing Team Singapore, they want more, but the creep wave doesn't really facilitate that.
I think maybe waiting on cooldown. Sejuani's Q dash is up now. So they had a lot of time to play with their Philippines.
Okay, that's a good charm. But
unplayable.
Of course, Windwall, as you have mentioned, there is really not much that you can do as an Ari in this matchup unless Gawala decides to take a tower shot for free. Keeps things pretty even. Blair seems to have the run of things up in top.
Yeah, he does. And it's the mana. Like, Gragas in early laning phase can run out of mana so easily that you're often looking for that quick reset in lanes like this to teleport in with a tier or something to just keep you sustained and healthy in this lane. Hook definitely going to go wide there. A whole minion wave between them. But Jacobo's getting to hit the wave here. The real win is that they are actually farming and that there has been no reset yet from Blaze and Kusuo. Great opportunity you would expect for Escalators to look towards bottom, but Shera is going to play zone defense. Keep him away.
Yeah, favorable enough trade there for Shera after Shock Proc helping out. Has a look in toward mid here as well, but Escalators on the way. What do they opt to do here? Shera now has been spotted, just going to take that trade, but not really looking like a great position to fight from here for Team Singapore.
Oh.
Charm does not land. Arakelek tried something. Flash Charm. Not the easiest to hit sometimes.
A bit indecisive, right? He had the movement of both Kusuo and Blaze coming towards the play. I think by the time he decided it was a little bit too late and just unfortunately misses the ability regardless. Manaless mid laner and the Yasuo are going to be perfectly fine. However, the recall required from Arakelek.
Does have TP. Should be a huge concern. It looks like those resets have happened in the top lane.
Yes, difference actually pretty favorable for the Gragas. Yes, this is a wave to collect, but the fact that Gragas is so far up means it has been one of those lanes where the Fiora Blair has been so focused on hitting you that he's forgot to hit those minions. And so Aloit is in actually quite a comfortable position in that 1v1.
Yeah, it starts to go on a bit of an adventure into his opponent's jungle as well. Gets a deep ward in there, so Escalators going to be given information as to where Shera is, but Blair now takes the opportunity. Level 6 versus level 5 to try to take the fight. Explosive cast now available. So Aloit should definitely not be going down here, but that is now starting to be a problem here for Blair. He has overcommitted and just can't get the finishing blow onto that Fiora. As you say, Jacobo now under pressure as well, and once again, those advantages starting to look like they are mounting in the bot lane. Kusuo can't survive this.
The worst possible way to miss a hook. Mid lane Yasuo ult as well.
Oh man, what is going on?
He flashed after him.
Arakelek burning.
It's going to be one tick off. Potion's running, just going to save his life. Fights in all three lanes simultaneously. A 1v1, a 2v2, and then a 1v1 in mid.
What? Okay, I mean, fair enough, given the position of where the wave was at. A kill on the ADC versus a kill on the support. I think you can make the argument there. But what was interesting about the exchange earlier was both the kills went to Nautilus. And now, again, both the kills have gone to Nami. So it's...
Supports are the future.
Exactly.
The way of water. Gawala stuck in mid lane as well, no summoners, but is farming quite successfully. The play in top as well wasn't really something we could highlight too much because there was constant fights, but Poppy being there with the steadfast presence actually stopped the queue from Blair that might have been all for vital procs, which may have been a trade 1-for-1. Blair was committed either way.
It's another one of those situations where you just think for Team Singapore, if they take that trade and then don't fully commit to it, they're in a really good spot, right? He's got Aloit under tower, not much HP. Has the advantage, but decided to go for the all-in. It ended up blowing up in his face.
And you know, Kusuo and Moran having those 2 kills, I don't think is a bad thing this early, right? Getting that first item spike for both of them is obviously quite important. For the Nami supporting the team's damage, for Nautilus actually being a tank, not a fake tank. The teams group up for this blue buff play. Seems like it's just going to be seeded by Philippines.
In the meanwhile, mid lane is pushing in, so Koala's going to have the opportunity to slam a tower plate.
Koala is also 20 CS up.
Yeah, this is a game which very much is hanging a bit more in the balance. Team Singapore have not run away with it quite the same way.
Amazingly, only 12 CS difference in bot. It feels like that's just illegal with how this game started out, right? It was like a 12-1 CS difference. Gragas also being AP with this phase rush, you've been seeing this a lot now in lane at the very least, is just annoying to deal with. You try and chase them down as the Fiora, you try and last hit as the Fiora, you're being punished. Blair's trying to circumvent that by going for these trades instead, but when all said and done, it felt like Singapore were in control super early, but it is just even in gold, and the reality is the lanes in both top and mid are so winning for Philippines.
Dragon for Rift Herald exchange. Saw this a lot yesterday. Singapore uncontested down in the bottom side of the map, and as you've already highlighted, Team Singapore a little bit stronger towards top and towards mid, so they can quite easily get that Rift Herald. And now Blair is getting proxy farmed, especially with Estelators so close. This is an awkward position to be in, and very much a kill angle if Blair is not careful. Oh, there you go. Nice flash stun from the Poppy, and there is just nothing to be done for Blair at all.
I think there is just no reason to not be able to use a riposte against the Gragas ultimate. Right, if you're going to pick this Fiora, you have to be confident in your abilities to play this champion. You're not playing with the team, you're playing to win. And that's now a 0-2-0 Fiora that is 40 CS down to the Gragas. They're diving bottom though.
They are indeed. Glacial Prison from Shera is a good one, connects quite nicely. Kusuo tanking, gets out of there comfortably. And that's a very well executed dive. 2 players done for Team Philippines.
No way he just ults that.
He does. Puts the wind wall down and the hook and the charm.
How much money is that wind wall worth? They've just thrown everything into it to prove that it's working.
Still, you'll call that favorable enough for Team Singapore, as they could probably break a tower plate, but they decide to base.
Yeah, I think they're still a little bit afraid of Estelators being there with Goala. As he's gone back towards the middle lane now, though. 20 CS advantage in mid lane. We watch this bot lane skirmish one more time. A nice hook, a nice Glacial Prison. And quite simply, Ari gets all of those resets. Nautilus was also the one tanking the turret for the team. Picture perfect. The Yasuo went in and dissuaded them by simply placing a wall down.
This has become a real pain point. Look, level 9 versus level 7.
Yeah. Majority of these Gragas barrels have connected as well onto Blair. Really keeping him down, being so annoying.
I'm a little bit surprised with the win tracker there, 59% leaning towards Team Singapore. They are behind on gold, not by a massive margin, but maybe taking into account the win that Singapore already has in the back pocket. Might still does not go through. Raiders able to grab that, and now a bit more of an awkward looking fight down in the bot lane, but Blaze on that Samira, as you know, will always be able to turn things on its head, and just in the blink of an eye, Samira is able to blow 2 players up on top side. Arakelik is going to need to help Shera out here. They might just be able to get the kill onto Estelators, but Arakelik does not deny much. The Spirit Rush does come through eventually. Oh, okay, 1-for-1 trade in the end. You'll call that okay for Team Singapore, considering bot is starting to get quite substantially ahead.
Kusuo was also moving towards the middle lane, of course, was not going to continue the chase through river as Blair cannot assist. Aloit is keeping him so busy, it is unbelievable. And just the 1v1 now as well. Really important kills, though, it feels like, for Arakelik, giving a second clear win condition in this game for the team. And, you know, the big thing for me, if we actually take stock of where the money is for the Philippines team, it is in a Poppy and a Nami. And at a certain point, that's going to do nothing for them.
Yep, very fair point.
Money in the right hands, however, for the Singapore squad now that Arakelik is 2-0-1. And a 3-1-3 Samira.
I think
Lucian's struggling.
What further compounds the issue is that, I mean, yeah, it's a Nami with 2 kills, but you're not even winning bot, right? So you're not even getting really any advantage out of those 2 kills in onto the Nami. Sure, she can grab him if you're a little bit earlier, but who's going to get value out of it?
Heralded instead of warding.
That's awkward. Happens to the best of us.
He was so keen for the kill.
I mean, it'll get a charge
goes on a journey like you've never seen before. Oh, okay. Well, that was fascinating.
Well, I mean, could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. Anyway, Estelators going to get out of there with the W. Oh, never mind. Does have to dodge the charm. Misses the ulti, though. And even the tidal wave coming through from Nami is not going to be enough to save this Poppy, who He's just going to try to take them on a bit of a run around, but ultimately will fall.
Buys time, delays the inevitable, but a 2-0-2 Ari still walking around. Meanwhile, in mid lane, if Koala is the strength of the team by farm, that's disappeared. He's down to 10 CS difference, and he's dealing with a Samira and a Nautilus. 2 turret shots, however, are nice into the pocket of Blaze.
Yeah, baited out the wind wall from Samira, so Blaze might be in a bit of trouble here if the route does go through. Ask pushes him to safety in the end, but Flash E and Blaze, he doesn't care, he wants to get in there. Moran is just such an easy one to pick up, so squishy on that Nami, looking for more. And all the CC a problem for Blaze in the end, but Shera is here and very tanky at the moment.
Oh, he gets him.
More than enough done.
No Estelatus, no chance to win the fight. That's what the difference truly becomes. Execution still lacking from the Philippines, though. All things considered, the Yasuo ultimate, the last breath, was not needed to go onto the support standing right now. You save the ult for Blaze, who gets hit by this cask to safety. Reinforcements come in, the flashes follow up, and Aloy, I think, plays this perfectly fine, does his job, but is now stuck with nowhere to go. Doesn't quite have the team to support him. Meanwhile, during all of this skirmish, the Fiora was pushing top.
And also, meanwhile, that replay, Arikelik and Estelatus going toe-to-toe in the bot lane. Arikelik somehow
The Q after death.
not able to survive, but yeah, as you say, post-mortem, finding the kill. Man, it's just such a messy game, right? It felt like it was a slower start again, and now it's just really started to accelerate.
It was a little bit slower, but you always felt like these compositions are very explosive and that action was going to happen. For Team Singapore, again, money in the right places, money in the right hands. The Fiora, of course, not a factor in this game at the moment. Is just going to be split pushing for the rest of the game, it feels like. This is a nice little play, though, from Koala. If the Drake's going to be up and they're pressuring bottom, they have vision on bot side to support his push. They'll break a really important turret for the team.
Yeah, 2 dragons, though, in the back pocket for Team Singapore, so that's starting to come in and scale and compound. Lucio going back to lane, all good. Rift Herald again, going to be going the way of Team Philippines. Poppy giving it a good smack, but losing some of their own jungle.
Potentially looking at mid here if you were Singapore. You pushed in bot, you make sure they're under the turret, and then you 4-man the mid lane outer turret with a Sejuani ultimate. Not something I would be opposed to seeing. I think they have no information, however, on this Poppy, and they're also spotted on a ward themselves. But you're not playing towards the Gragas side of the map. You have to be able to snowball where you are now. So they commit to this turret and a hook.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit illegal, unfortunately, from Team Philippines to allow that to go through. Quick and easy double kill. The TP from Aloy. Best case scenario, he's going to trade 1 for 1 here. Worst case, 3 for 0 in the end. And in the mid lane, Arikelik as well seems to be getting the better of Gawala. Good Spirit Rush, dodging the knock-up, and makes it look so easy. Barely takes any damage.
A really nice R3 from Arikelik there as well to reposition the rebound on that Q. Make sure the kills come across. Yeah, absolutely no reason that the Lucian should be using the culling to trim a wave that is not something that can be defended. Nautilus ult comes out, immediately cancels him. And these kills just come across left, right, and center. Is a big fan of Teemo in mid lane, of course.
Yep, big
Wants
thumbs
to
up.
make that very known.
That's a huge swing for Team Singapore. 3 kills in bot, kill Ana Tower in mid, and the Dragon as well just before that. And that is
That makes
very
more
much
sense
displayed,
now.
yeah, on the win tracker. 82% for Team Singapore. Have a look at the replay here, Rusty.
Culling comes out, hook comes out, and there goes the Lucian. The real issue here, the thing that feels so bad, is this Gragas ult misses. Everfrost gets duked. Cannot hit a single ability because they just crowd control and lock him down, and Blaze maybe falls in that trade if things go better, but
Even still, though.
what do you do, right? It's a tough situation. He had the worst possible hand that was dealt to him.
It's a 3-for-1 trade in the best case, and so I don't think that's going to be a trade you ever want to be taking. Kobo getting hooked there. Had the vision that Sejuani was there. This time, though, they don't know about Arikelik. Still, the knock-up connects, and Blair does receive the Yasuo ulti, so a little bit of an exchange going on that does at the moment look favourable for Team Philippines. Arikelik blown up by the explosive cast. Depth charge through. Kusuo still wants to go
Oh
for the
my
fight,
God.
and there's an illegal Nautilus hook that connects through a creep. As you know, it sometimes happens. Blaze is here. Does he want a tower dive? Yes,
Yes,
is the
he does.
answer. The resets, and the ulti gets it done. Able to survive with the life steal as well. That final tower auto attack is just not enough.
Actually insane though from Blaze. The mechanics coming out of that Samira would absolutely S tier. They'll get the kills, they'll get the quad into the pockets of their AD carry, and Singapore now threatening the inhibitor. No reason to take it just now, and respawn time was a little bit too low. So they're not going to be able to commit themselves to that one. End result, this Duskblade Samira build, just so dangerous, so powerful. And it starts off successfully for the Philippines, right? They break some ankles, they get some really nice combos off. 2 kills to start this one off. Kusuo, hook counter, currently at 0. Hits the impossible hook shortly after. So, you know, equalizing is there. And Blaze just comes through, finds his opportunity to flash. Immediately sees his mark, the bubble's gone. And the amount of dashes that he gets off here, and has a cannon prepared earlier, like a good chef. Cooks up the montage and sends Philippines straight to YouTube.
Clean as a whistle. And now 10-2. So, might be trying to gun for the Audi Super A player this one. And there's the Hex Flash over the wall coming in from Kusuo to follow up on that CC. Blaze actually low, but again, it feels like it's more of a feint and a bait than anything else, as Blaze has decided he's more than happy to dive under the tower. The explosive cast put him in position to maybe continue that onto Aloy, but decides to back away. And it's Kusuo that'll eat a couple of tower shots. Still, the fight is brewing. It's
Playing with fire.
burning right now, and Aloy might have stepped a step too far. Once again, you just cannot kill Blaze at the moment. It's a fallacy. Every time you see a low HP Samira, it's a lie. And I think that was the unofficial Penta.
I mean, yeah, 15-2 now is the scoreline for this Samira.
It was, yeah.
The unofficial Penta essentially gets confirmed there. Estellator's going to try and step up and defend this, but the Supers pushing in, the minions pushing in bottom as well have to be dealt with. Singapore this time aren't going to push to an end. They are going to have to reset, and we will get ourselves another fight onwards after the Drake, of course.
I wonder if there's going to be a contest for this Drake. The Philippines are heading in that direction. Escalators is, and there's a TP coming through as well, so that starts to reinforce my assumptions. TP's back on the other side.
Singapore haven't reset. This is dangerous.
And with that said, Blaze is always going to be an ever-present threat. They're looking for more explosive casket. Isolates Blaze away from the fight, but it still won't matter. Arakelik is able to strike for one. Knockup goes onto the wrong member. Again, a Yasuo ult onto the Nautilus. It's not the champion you need to be taking down at this point in time, and Arakelik is more than happy to continue the chase onto Gawala. Moran will blast cone out to safety, but it's a bittersweet ending.
And the Drake still goes their way. Even more kills than the last game already. Now we have an extra couple of minutes. They have more kills, and there's more gas in the tank in this game. To try and wrap this one up, you'll see the Ahri move towards bottom lane, threatening to take that inhibitor. Should be able to do so, and Blair is in this game. If anyone was wondering, Blair is in fact a player in this game. Arakelik is definitely running it.
Yeah, that's fine. We got half the damage on the inhib Rusty, it's worth.
Yep. That inhibitor is scaling into late game.
As long as you say worth in chat.
I think he will say, please, Mr. Samira, carry me to victory. This is a fight again. You pick Gragas Yasuo, you probably Yasuo when that Gragas cast comes out, hit both of them. Give yourself a chance to win this team fight, but once again, just is not happening. Whether it's positioning, whether it's crowd control from Singapore to stop the ultimate from happening in the first place. Whatever the combination of errors are, their combo isn't working. And it's a 0-5 Yasuo now running around against the 16-2 Samira.
Well, what do you even do at that point? You do not have the damage to kill him. If you do kill him, he's got Guardian Angel. If you don't kill him,
Yeah, it's tough now, isn't
Duskblade.
it? Lay down on the floor, try not to cry. Cry a lot.
Yeah, feels like we're kind of within one fight territory now, particularly if Team Singapore is able to grab this Baron before that fight ensues, or as that fight ensues.
A while away from anything, it seems like, for Philippines, if that exists at all. Even scaling in this game doesn't feel like it favors them whatsoever.
No TP for Aloy. He's been trapped in the bot lane by Blair. So this should be a free Baron in the end for Team Singapore. Might not even see the contest through from the Philippines. Installators, I suppose you would try, go for the flip, but wasn't even in position to really do anything.
Of course, one of the strengths of Poppy, right, is using that ultimate, pushing them out of the pit, being able to steal that away with the smite yourself, but like you said, not going to get there in time. Arakelic this time will not be by himself, dying at an inhibitor, has got reinforcements right there.
Well, Pataling to try to get some poke damage down. Does actually force the depth charge out, but
Eyes on Blaze though.
End of the day, there is just way too much power on the side of Team Singapore. Inhib now starting to suffer. And up in the top lane as well, the tower goes down as well. So 3 open inhibs, and very shortly you'd imagine it's probably 3 dead inhibs and an open nexus.
The only way to play this out is a Gragas cast being thrown now, a teleport, because they simply can. Gragas cast on Blaze, Yasuo ult to follow through. That is the only option, but there's a Guardian Angel.
Just feels like there won't quite be enough there, but here are the ultimates getting tossed on in. Yasuo ult does actually manage to connect onto Blaze this time off the back of a nice tidal wave. Talk about that GA already in effect here for Blaze. Now he's back up and ready to go, ready for more. Isn't even going to be required really in that fight because that was way too much of a whitewash. The fountain dive at the end. It's the quadra kill for Blaze. Not quite the penta. He got the unofficial penta, then the quadra kill.